Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing well. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, my channel where I talk about all of the crafty goodness that I have been working on. Today is a cross-stitch episode. It is November 16th, 2020. Before we get started, a couple little administration tidbits. First of all, where you can find me on the internet. There are two places that you can find me. The first is on Instagram at birch.and.lily, and the second is on Ravelry at birchandlily. Now, the other two announcements. First, if you did not check out last week's episode and you are a knitter, I am doing a giveaway on that episode for this beautiful pair of sock blockers from the Sleepy Chickadee shop. So definitely check out last week's episode and enter if you are interested. And then the other thing, if you are interested in test knitting my sock pattern for this year's sock vent, check out the link down in my description, pointing in all sorts of directions. Check the link down in my description, and the application is there. I am still taking applications to test until the end of the day, November 17th. So the day this goes up, you have until probably, I will say, 9 o'clock Eastern time before I will close that, and then I will notify all of the people that I have picked on November 18th. So, with all of that said, this is a cross-stitch episode. I don't have any finished objects, of course, because I just like massive cross-stitch pieces, but I do have quite a few things to show you guys, so let's jump on in. And for once, I have show notes. I forgot my ring again, but I have show notes. So the first project that I have been working on, I don't know if I showed it last episode because I forgot my show notes last episode, but this is Let It Snow Bungalow, which is patterned by Hands On Design. I started this last year, I think, around Christmas time, but I pulled it out again because I would love to get it finished before it snows. Knock on wood, please don't snow yet. But I would love to have it finished before then so I can put it up. I have this project in a bag from Pretty Southern. So this is a series that has 4 patterns in it. There's one for every season. And I do already have the summer and the fall cross stitches finished. So I'm working on the winter and I still have the spring left to do. I am using mostly all of the called for colors for this. The only thing that I changed, I did not have the red in my stash. And what is the red? Turkish red by Weeks Dye Works is what it calls for. I have substituted in Parlor from Color and Cotton, and it seems to be working quite well. I'm pretty happy. I am stitching this up on 28 count black Lugana. I find it a lot easier to see on 28 count. I don't like having to stitch with 2 threads, but I can deal with it because I do have a hard time seeing. And I don't even know if there is such a thing as black 40 count. Probably. But I am stitching this on 28, and this is where I am. And yeah, I don't think I've shown this in a while. So, since I've pulled it out, I've pretty much done all of the stuff that's done on this snowman, worked on the roof down there. I feel like I've accomplished quite a bit. And of course, I'll have popped a picture up on the screen for you guys. I'm going to keep this back here so it doesn't blow out. But yeah, I feel like I'm moving quite quickly on this. So I think I can totally have it done within the next couple months. Yeah. Loving that project and definitely enjoying working on it. The only problem is now that we've had time change and it's darker out, I can't work on it in the evenings because I can't see super well. And my light is up here and we usually hang out downstairs. I do have a headlamp type thing, but I can only use it for so long because I find, I don't know, it strains my eyes a little bit. So I've been holding off and working on this just during the day when I have nice daylight that I can sit in, and then working on some of these other projects when it's dark out. So next we have something not Christmas related. I don't think I have worked on this in a long time either. This is Merrily, Merrily We Welcome Spring, which is a pattern by Blackbird Designs. Another big one. It is in another Pretty Southern bag. And as for floss, I'm using all of the called for except for, where are you? The pattern called for Mountain Mist, which was out of stock, so I ended up replacing it just with St. Bernard, there we go, from Classic Colorworks. And it seems to be working quite well. Otherwise, there are all the threads. And I'm also not stitching this up on the called for. I cannot remember what the called for is, but I'm stitching this up on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. And while I'm up here, I need to cut this fabric because I have a massive chunk of it and it's getting in the way, so I need to remember to do that. Here we are. So almost all the way around the border. Like I would say 3/4, give or take. And I have worked a lot. Actually, we'll just hold it like this still. On the alphabet, I have worked a lot on the leaves on the border. And I did start filling in some of the berries as well. This is probably what I've worked on the most this week, and then I have a couple Christmas pieces that I will show you after this that I worked on the week before. So yeah, I love this, but like I said, that is a lot of fabric, so I need to cut some of that off because it's just getting in my way. Yeah, I think I'll keep this out. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of alphabets lately, which is weird because I didn't think I liked alphabets, but I just like, they seem to go really fast. I don't know why. But I've been doing the alphabets on this. I've been doing alphabets on a couple other projects that I've been working on. Actually, I think every single one I have left, I'm currently working on alphabets. But I don't know, I'm gonna run with it, because at some point I might stop liking the alphabets again, and I want to get as much done as I can. So, loving this project. It's absolutely beautiful. I think that blue line there, let me see. Yes, so that line of bright blue letters at the bottom there is the final one of alphabet, and then after that there'll be a whole bunch of pretty little motifs that I get to start on, but I want to get all the alphabet done and all of those little borders done before I get there, so then I just have fun stuff left to do. So yeah, Merrily, Merrily, We Welcome Spring. I think this is a pretty popular one and most people have seen it, so loving it. I love almost all of the projects I start, and I've really hit the point now where if I don't want to work on it, I might as well just take it out because it's wasting fabric. It's just sitting there in a bag, wasting space. So I did that with some knitting projects yesterday too. I ripped a couple out again because they just weren't making me happy. So I think that's the way to do it within the next year. If I don't like it, why force myself to do it? This is supposed to be a fun hobby, so loving this one, glad I pulled it out again. Next we have another Christmas project, which funnily enough is in a fall bag because that's all I had. This is Jenny Bean's Christmas Sampler. It's a pattern by Shakespeare's Peddler. Big long name. And I think I had talked last episode about the fact that I was going to restart this and Lantern Lane on 40 count Mallow because I was doing both of them before on 32 count and I just don't like stitching on that anymore. But I still loved the projects themselves, and I didn't have tons done, so I figured it was in my best interest to just start them over. So the fabric came in, and I have done that with both of them. So I will give you a peek at this. Like I said, fall bag for a Christmas project is what it is. I am using all of the called for threads for this, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Like, you wouldn't expect these colors for Christmas, but I love them. So, the only downside is these are all fancy floss and you really don't use that much. I think if I were to do this again, which I won't, but if I was to kit this up again, I would have just done DMC because, oh gosh, I'm making a knot. Because I'm really not using much of these. Like, I'll put them back in my stash and I can hopefully use them for another project, but it kind of seems silly to do the fancy floss for this because it's quite small. Especially since I'm doing it on 40 count. So, this is what I have done so far. I love how it looks on 40 count. I don't know. 40 count. The tiny little stitches just make me so happy. So yeah, I've got a lot done on this. It really only goes maybe that much further down. So, oh, and I'm not working, well, I'm kind of working on the alphabet on this. Right now I'm doing the house, but the alphabet kind of just scoops all around the house, so I'm kind of working on it. But yeah, I love this project, and like the colors, I don't know, I just, looking at the picture of it, the picture does not do this project justice, because I did not expect all of these beautiful colors based off of the picture. I hope the camera is really picking them up well too. So I'm loving this. I'm loving working on Christmas stuff. Actually, we are going to decorate our house for Christmas after this. I'm really excited. We usually will put on The Grinch. My puppy loves The Grinch. Last year was the year we got her, and we put it on, and she just sat on the couch and stared at the movie the whole time. So I'm really excited to see what she does this year. But we watch The Grinch, we decorate everything, and it's really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm loving this beautiful Christmas project, and I definitely think I can get it done by Christmas. Did I say that is on 40 count Mallow? I don't know if I did, but 40 count Mallow. I'm gonna stop saying that these are Pretty Southern bags, because literally every project this episode is in a bag from Pretty Southern, so that is that. Here's this bag. Really pretty. This project that I'm working on is called Birds of a Feather. It is unfortunately discontinued, but it is a pattern by With Thy Needle and Thread, or Brenda Gervais. She goes by both. So if you're interested in it, I'm sure you could find it on eBay. I don't know what the price would be like. I was able to find mine on a stash unload group on Facebook for a really reasonable price. That's where I got mine. So I'm not using the call for fabric for this. I believe it calls for a 30 or 35 count fabric. I am stitching it on 40 count, of course, and I'm using vintage gray. It was something I had kicking around in my stash. And then I am using all of the call for threads. Where's the blue? This blue is so pretty. So yeah. And I basically finished the border on it. There's some left, but the main part of the border is done, so that was exciting, and I moved on to alphabets. But this is where I am, and this is another project I need to cut the fabric off of. But all of the flowers and stuff are done. I just have some outlining left to do on the border. And then I started on the alphabet here. I love this project so much. It's so pretty. And then, because you've seen the picture, of course I'll be eventually putting in like a tree and some sheep and all sorts of fun stuff. If it has sheep, I love it. So that is why I love this project, obviously, because sheep. So, working on the alphabet. I do know that the I is missing and there's just a J. They do that a lot with, or that is something they did a lot in old samplers, because you could just take the tail off of a J and you'd have an I. So a lot of times they would skip putting the I in. So I know it's missing. It is intentional. That's the way the pattern is written. But yeah, this is just beautiful. It's so pretty. And I love that it's not too big. Like, if I hold it beside my head, it's about head size. A little wider, but yeah, it's a nice, smaller project to work on. The letters are flying. Like, I think I just started those letters 2 days ago, and I haven't worked on this consistently over those 2 days. Like, I've kind of just pulled it out for an hour here or there. So, absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I am cutting this fabric after that, or after the video is recorded, because first of all, it's just sitting there with nothing to do, and I could start something else on it, maybe. But also, it's just in the way. So, well, I always forget. I set my threads on my little counter here, and then I forget to put them back in the bag. And finally, one more Christmas project. This is Lantern Lane. It's a pattern by Little House Needleworks, and like I said, I also restarted this one on 40 count Mallow. Look at this little bag. I saw this and I just had to. It made me giggle. It's the only Christmas cross-stitch bag I have, so this is a pretty project to put in it. I have not put these threads on a floss ring yet. The ring is in there, but I haven't put it on, so I won't show you that, but I am using all of the called for cotton threads. The pattern does also call or have the option for silks, but I'm not paying for silks, so I'm doing this with the cottons. And oh look, alphabets! Let me fold this like this. So that is all that I have done. The top border is completely finished, and I've started on the alphabet, because apparently that's what I like doing right now. So, not tons, but I think it's looking really good on the Mallow. I'm really happy with that. And I should say, actually, Long Dog Stitcher, oh my word, she commented down below and let me know why Mallow was so cheap. I don't know why I didn't pay attention to it on the website when I ordered it, but it's partially cotton, so that explains why the texture is a little bit more stiff. It's not crazy stiff, like it's totally, once you start to use it, it becomes really malleable, but that explains why it feels different and why it's cheaper, because it's like half and half linen and cotton, which I'm okay with, because honestly, it's a beautiful neutral. Everything I've used it on, it looks wonderful with. So, it doesn't matter to me. If it's something I really, really love, and I think will be really, really special, I will still order the linen, I think, but otherwise, honestly, the amount of stuff I like to start, this is going to be my go-to fabric, I think, because it's reasonably priced, and then I can start more stuff. So, that's Lantern Lane. Not much to show with that, but loving working on it as well. So, yeah, that is all I have for you guys this episode. Like I said at the beginning, definitely check out last week's episode and enter into that giveaway if you're interested. And if you're interested in testing for me, link is down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, thank you so, so much. I hope you enjoyed. And if you're returning, of course, thank you as well. All of you that return every week and watch me, it just makes my day, makes my week, makes my year, makes everything. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. You can also press the like button down below, and that helps me out a lot. Otherwise, I upload videos every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again next week. Bye!